The city of New York has just witnessed a landmark moment in its history. On November 4, 2025, Zohran Mamdani, a 34-year-old assemblyman and self-described democratic socialist, stunned the political establishment by winning the mayoral race with approximately 504% of the vote, defeating former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. His victory marks several historic firsts. Mamdani becomes the city's first Muslim mayor, the first of South Asian heritage, and the youngest mayor in more than a century. So how did Mamdani achieve this breakthrough? His campaign was ultimately built on a bold message of affordability and working-class empowerment. In a city where rent prices, childcare costs, and transit fares have become unbearable for many, Mamdani positioned himself as the candidate of the people. He proposed sweeping changes, a freeze on rent-stabilized units, free or highly subsidized public transit, especially buses, universal childcare, city-owned grocery stores, and higher taxes on million-dollar earners and corporations to fund these programs. What made the difference was not just what he promised, but how he did it. From the spring of 2025, Mamdani ran a grassroots campaign, engaging younger voters, immigrant communities, and disillusioned voters in neighborhoods often overlooked by traditional politics. He tapped into the frustration many New Yorkers feel over day-to-day survival in an increasingly expensive city, and he offered hope rather than incremental reform. Exit polling and analysis showed his highest support came from young adults, college-educated women, and immigrant households, all key voting blocs in a city of over 8 million residents. Yet the backdrop of his win is equally important. His main opponent, Andrew Cuomo, once a powerful governor, attempted a comeback running as an independent after losing the Democratic primary. Polls in early October had him closing the gap, but the progressive wave and early vote surge carried Mamdani across the finish line. After the results were announced, Mamdani took to the stage and delivered a victory speech that signaled both gratitude and ambition. He told supporters, "The future is in our hands. This city belongs to you." He framed his win as more than personal, as a mandate for change. He pledged to deliver the most aggressive affordability agenda this city has seen in decades. With victory secured and the inauguration set for January 1, 2026, the question now turns to what comes next. What are the positive and negative implications of this historic result? On the positive side, Mamdani's win sends a powerful message about representation and hope. Having the first Muslim, first South Asian, and youngest mayor in New York's history signals an expansion of who has a seat at the table. This resonates deeply in a city shaped by immigration and diversity. Moreover, his focus on affordability addresses some of the most tangible day-to-day pressures facing New Yorkers. If implemented successfully, his proposed measures could improve quality of life for working families, less financial strain, more reliable public transit, and greater civic engagement among young voters. The high turnout, over 2 million voters in the election, the highest in a mayoral race in decades, underscores that many New Yorkers felt this election mattered. However, the path ahead is fraught with major challenges. Despite the bold promises, the realities of governing one of the world's largest and most complex cities cannot be underestimated. New York's budget is massive. Regulatory hurdles are deep, and any large-scale changes, like rent freezes or free transit, will require cooperation from the city council, the state government, and often rely on funding beyond the mayor's direct control. Critics argue that without conservative fiscal discipline, the enthusiasm may lead to unmet expectations and backlash. Business and investor communities have already expressed concern. Mamdani's left-leaning platform could raise questions about real estate development, business investment, and the broader economic competitiveness of New York City. Wall Street watchers worry that aggressive taxation on the wealthy and corporations may slow growth or prompt a flight of capital or talent. Public sentiment also remains divided. While the progressive base is energized, those who voted for other candidates, many of whom include moderate Democrats or non-voters until now, may feel alienated if immediate change is not visible. The clock on expectations is already ticking. A high early turnout raises expectations for results rather than rhetoric. If Mamdani fails to deliver quickly, the political backlash could be intense. Additionally, the national implications cannot be ignored. A victory by a Democratic socialist in America's largest city could energize similar campaigns elsewhere, while provoking conservative backlash at the national level. In the next months and years, the key tests will be clear. Can Mamdani translate campaign promise into policy outcomes? Will rent freezes and universal childcare survive legal scrutiny and funding constraints? Will the city's business ecosystem adapt or contract? Will New York retain its position as the world's financial and cultural hub? In short, Zohran Mamdani's election is a landmark moment, historic, symbolic, and potentially transformative. But greatness may hinge on his ability to deliver. For the working people of New York, hope is alive. For critics, the real question is, can this momentum hold? Thanks for watching this deep dive on Celeb Zone TV. If you found this story revealing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more global news and trending updates.